Franklin Graham tonight at 7 p.m. on News Channel 5.
Tonight, the battle for Iraq. The UN comes together behind the U.S. handover plan. But on the ground, suicide bombers and kidnappers strike. We'll give you a look at what, why, and what's ahead. Remembering a president. Huge crowds line up for a moment of tribute as Washington prepares a grand memorial. Inside story. CBS first played the Enron tapes. Now there's more. Congress demands to hear them. You will hear tonight. And stop kids from throwing tantrums. Eye on America has a solution straight out of the Flintstones.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. More than 14 months into the U.S.-led campaign in Iraq, President Bush now has what he once said he didn't need: full support from the United Nations Security Council. Late today, the Security Council voted 15-0 for a resolution drafted by the U.S. and Britain setting a hopeful timetable for Iraqi elections and withdrawal of coalition forces. President Bush learned of the vote in Georgia, where he's hosting some world leaders at the annual G8 Economic Summit. CBS's John Roberts has more from Savannah.
President Bush today hailed the unanimous passage of the resolution as an important moment, throwing the weight of the world behind his plans to rebuild Iraq.
The vote today in the United Nations Security Council, it was a great victory for the Iraqi people. The international community showed that it stands side by side with the Iraqi people.
It was a major diplomatic victory that kicks off the G8 summit with a bang. One the White House is banking will drain support for insurgents on the ground in Iraq.
They are now challenging their own leaders. They are now fighting against the dreams of their own people.
The resolution puts on record the transfer of full sovereignty to the interim government and sets a timetable for democracy. Elections for a transitional assembly by next January, the writing of a constitution, then elections for a fully democratic government by the end of the year. It allows Iraqis authority over their own forces and a say in sensitive offensive operations by coalition troops, but they will have no veto power over the U.S. military. The practical effects of the resolution are unclear. It may stem the exodus of other coalition members like Spain, which pulled out of Iraq. But if the president wants anything new beyond moral support, say some lawmakers, he must convince Security Council members that words demand action.
You basically acknowledge this is the world's responsibility. We need troop help. We need help in training Iraqi troops, and we need help financially. If that doesn't happen, then nothing fundamentally changes on the ground.
The best the White House is hoping for is international aid to train up an Iraqi security force. But that will take months, leaving a critical security gap just as a fledgling government assumes power, with violence expected to increase.
I think we have to recognize that the bulk of this burden is still going to be carried by the United States. This will be a long process. The United States will be there militarily for a long period of time. We have to prepare ourselves from that.
International experts expect that the U.S. will get next to nothing in terms of practical support from this resolution. They say the UN Security Council wasn't out to share responsibility, but to force President Bush to compromise on Iraq, believing his policies have been wrong from the start. Dan?
John Roberts reporting live from Savannah, Georgia. Thanks. Despite the progress on the diplomatic front, there was more bloodshed in Iraq today. 6 coalition soldiers from Europe were killed when munitions they were transporting exploded, and 1 American soldier was among at least 15 people killed and dozens wounded by car bombs in 2 Iraqi cities. There was also a daring hostage rescue today, as CBS's Kimberly Dozier reports from Baghdad.
They were a symbol of a guerrilla campaign the coalition seemed powerless to stop. 4 Italian bodyguards working for an American security company were abducted near Fallujah. 1 was killed, executed on camera. The others held for almost 2 months. Today, those remaining Italian hostages are free, rescued by U.S. Special Forces south of Baghdad.
At this point in time, the hostages are under coalition forces control, and they are in good health. All of the hostages were at the same location, and yes, we did detain some individuals at the site.
U.S. officials gave no details about the kidnappers. A Polish hostage held with the Italians was also freed. But even as the coalition trumpeted that success, militants paraded another group of men in front of the camera. These are 3 of 7 Turks allegedly taken for working for the Americans. Among dozens of other foreigners kidnapped in Iraq is Army Private Keith Matthew Maupin. Up to 20 more are being held, according to hostage negotiator and Anglican cleric Andrew White. He helped locate the Italians. He says a dangerous trend is developing. Criminals are capturing foreigners, then selling them to extremist groups.
These hostages may be past Al-Qaeda type operatives, which makes our job very considerably more difficult.
The warning to foreigners remains the same. Keep your head down and don't make it easy for the kidnappers. The militants know the power of symbols, and they will exploit every one they can get their hands on. Kimberly Dozier, CBS News, Baghdad.
In Congress today, the subject was torture and whether or not a legal memorandum prepared for the Defense Department gave U.S. troops in Iraq and Afghanistan the go-ahead to use torture. CBS's David Martin reports the Bush cabinet member who had his lawyers prepare that memo found himself back in the hot seat.
Attorney General Ashcroft came under heated questioning from the Senate Judiciary Committee about leaked internal documents which argue that torture can be legally justified. The documents, which were used by both the CIA and the Pentagon, argued, among other things, that America's right of self-defense could justify the use of torture while interrogating captured al-Qaeda operatives to get information about future terrorist attacks. Ashcroft said that despite the legal opinions, the Bush administration does not condone torture.
I condemn torture. I think
So it's not justified then?
I don't think it's productive, let alone justified.
But Ashcroft refused to turn over the documents.
Will you provide those to the committee?
No, I will not.
Democrats contend the documents set the climate that produced the abuses at Abu Ghraib.
We know when we have these kinds of orders what happens. We get the stress tests, we get the use of dogs, we get the forced nakedness that we've all seen on these, and we get the hooding. This is what directly results when you have that kind of memoranda out there.
The issue of whether the U.S. has permitted the torture of captured terrorists is more than just a legal debate over whether any laws or treaties have been violated.
There's a reason why we sign these treaties. To protect my son in the military. That's why we have these treaties. So when Americans are captured, they are not tortured. That's the reason.
Since the prisoner abuse scandal broke, one captured American, the civilian Nick Berg, has been beheaded, and another, Private Keith Maupin, has disappeared. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
An American security expert in Saudi Arabia was shot and killed today by suspected al-Qaeda gunmen. The victim, hired to train Saudi National Guard troops, was ambushed outside his home in the Saudi capital of Riyadh. The killers escaped. In this country, the body of President Reagan will be flown to Washington tomorrow for the official start of his state funeral. Today, the military went through a dress rehearsal, carrying a casket to the U.S. Capitol on a horse-drawn caisson, then carrying it up the many steps to the Capitol Rotunda, where President Reagan will lie in state. The president's casket is on view the rest of this evening at the Reagan Library in California. CBS's Jerry Bowen is there.
It's been a remarkable display of affection and sorrow. Thousands of people coming around the clock to say farewell to Mr. Reagan. So many, they've doubled the buses and extended the viewing hours.
Doing something that you feel like if you didn't do it, you'd be regretting it the rest of your life.
4 o'clock this morning, and there are the scouts from Simi Valley Troop 626, saluting the man they learned about in their history books. About that same time, Mary Ann Devona scooped up her 3 kids and a friend to make the long drive here. 7 hours later, there they were, bottom of the screen, passing the casket of the man she believes made America safer for her and her kids.
They don't remember growing up with the missiles pointed at their heads or the nuclear bomb scares.
And what is truly remarkable is that in a place known for people showing up late and leaving early, they're waiting hours at a nearby college parking lot to catch shuttle buses to the library.
Pushing 2 hours.
3 hours. 3.5 hours.
Waiting as George Mayer did for a moment of tribute that lasts barely 1 minute, but well worth it. Mayer said Mr. Reagan made him proud to be in the military again.
President Reagan came along and dug into the pocketbook and told the American people, we're going to spend a couple of dollars and we're going to build up our military and make them proud of this nation again.
Also paying tribute, Democratic presidential candidate John Kerry, who came because he'll miss the state funeral in Washington because of his daughter's graduation here in California. Tomorrow, Mr. Reagan's casket will be flown to Washington for viewing in the Capitol Rotunda before Friday's state funeral, and then return here for a sunset burial at the Presidential Library. A place for now of long lines and brief moments of farewell. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Simi Valley.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, more Enron tapes. And if you think you've heard it all before, wait till you hear what Enron energy traders were up to in this batch of recordings. You'll hear the inside story. Then later, toddler temper tantrums. They'll test any parent or grandparent, but there may be a modern Stone Age way to stop them. Eye on America gives you the story, but first. CBS News honors fallen heroes. Dusty Sekula's passions were his religion and horses. He used his high school lunch hours to practice roping on fake stairs. Sekula graduated at the top of his class, then joined the Marines. He told his father, if it comes right down to it, I will not falter, and I will sacrifice my life for my country, and I will not be afraid.
Millions of us are hospitalized with heart-related chest pain or a certain type of heart attack, what doctors call ACS. The cause? For most, it was blood platelets that formed clots, which blocked blood from getting to the heart. Think aspirin and other heart medications alone are enough? Plavix could help make a difference. So ask your doctor about adding Plavix. Taken with aspirin and your current treatment, Plavix goes beyond what you're taking to help raise protection against heart attack or stroke. Plavix and your other medications work in different ways. Plavix taken with aspirin plays its own role in keeping blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep blood flowing.
If you have a medical condition that causes bleeding, such as a stomach ulcer, you shouldn't use Plavix. The risk of bleeding may increase with Plavix, and when you take Plavix with certain other medicines, including aspirin. Review your medicine with your doctor to minimize this risk. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur.
Add more protection against heart attack or stroke with Plavix.
I've lived here all my life. I'm not going anywhere. I've made arrangements for assistance if I need it. I'm a realist. I know I'll be old one day.
Long-term care coverage from Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company.
It's a fabulous invention for denture wearers.
Polygrip's unique ooze control tip spreads a flat ribbon for less ooze.
Life has got a lot easier.
And try Polygrip with PolySeal. Helps seal out food, seals in comfort.
Got an itch? Scratching tears up skin. Maximum Strength Lenocaine saves your skin from scratching with maximum anti-itch medicine and antibacterial to help kill germs. Lenocaine stops the itch, saves your skin.
Want to bring down your cholesterol number? Try new Minute Maid Heartwise, the only orange juice with added cholesterol reducers proven to help lower cholesterol. New Minute Maid Heartwise, for a number of good reasons.
The allergy season's in full force. Most OTC allergy medicines may not last as long as you want. Not Benadryl allergy, not Chlortrimeton 4-hour, not Tylenol severe allergy. But just one dose of once daily Allegra lasts up to 4 times longer than one dose of most OTC allergy medicines for people 12 and over. Side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or backache. Don't let another allergy day go by without Allegra, because who knows how long this allergy season will last. Long-lasting Allegra. The relief goes on.
You may recall CBS's Vince Gonzalez was the first to obtain the Enron tapes, which we aired recently on this broadcast. You heard Enron employees talking about manipulating an energy shortage in California to maximize profits, tapes the government and the company didn't want you to hear. Well, Vince Gonzalez gives you another earful in tonight's Inside Story.
David up at Enron?
The Department of Justice reportedly has thousands of hours of Enron employees recorded during the West Coast power crisis. Now, some in Congress want all the tapes released.
I want to make sure that no federal agency suppresses this information, makes the case harder for us to get relief.
After CBS broadcast the voices of Enron energy traders gloating over the crisis they helped create, more tapes were released.
You gotta think the economy is gonna get crushed. I mean, this is like a recession waiting to happen.
The tapes show Enron tried to bring California to its knees.
But this is what California breaks.
Yeah, it sure does, man.
By exporting energy out of the state so the company could drive up prices even more.
What we need to do is to help in the cause of downfall of California. You guys need to pull your megawatts out of California on a daily basis. They're on the ropes today. I exported like 400 megs.
Wow.
Traders can be heard manipulating the market using now infamous schemes with names like Death Star, Ricochet, and Fat Boy.
You want to do some Fat Boys or whatever, man. Take advantage of it.
In Fat Boy, Enron traders used fake power sales to hide megawatts, shrinking the supply of energy and driving up prices. They also used the oldest trick in the book.
All lies. Oh, how well you can weave these lies together, Sharon. All right, so,
I feel like I'm being corrupted now.
No.
Okay.
Marketing.
The tapes could affect dozens of cases already filed against the company by California's Attorney General.
If it's ever heard by a jury, they're going to get strung up.
CBS.
After hearing the tapes, the state's 2 U.S. senators demanded an immediate $8.9 billion refund.
All I could tell you is you have to listen to what's happening out there to ordinary people who you are responsible to help through this.
With Enron and other major energy companies in bankruptcy, big refunds are unlikely. But the tapes could provide the evidence that states and cities need to break expensive contracts they were forced to sign at the height of the power crisis. Vince Gonzalez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Here's something you've never seen before. That dot is planet Venus in transit, crossing in front of the sun today for the first time in 122 years. If you missed it, you can see it next time in 2012. Coming up on the CBS Evening News, Reaganomics. Big tax cuts and massive defense spending were the cornerstones. Sound familiar? CBS's special series, The Legacy. Next.
How did we design the Kia Sorento to attain the highest quality? How did it get the government's highest side impact safety rating? How did we back it with such a great warranty and still price it thousands less than the competition? How did we do all this? We worked our tails off. That's how. The obsessively perfected Kia Sorento. Get the 2004 Sorento starting at $20,040 after $1,500 cash back, plus an additional $1,000 competitive bonus for qualified buyers.
Good news for those with Medicare. You can get savings on prescriptions. And now, millions of lower-income people may qualify for an additional $600 credit. Only with a Medicare-approved drug discount card. Call 1-800-MEDICARE now for more information on how to save. Because you either have the power to save, or you don't.
That's the big gotta go, 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 gotta go right now.
I've gotta go now.
If you've always got to go, you may have a treatable medical condition. So ask your doctor about Detrol LA, the #1 prescribed brand for overactive bladder. It helps control the bladder muscle contractions that have you rushing to the bathroom.
Need a break?
No, not right now.
If you have certain stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems, you shouldn't take Detrol LA. Common side effects include dry mouth, constipation, abdominal pain, and headache.
And I don't have to go right now.
Detrol LA.
Right now.
When you've always got to go.
For a healthy heart, do you know which aspirin cardiologists recommend most? Ecotrin. And Ecotrin, always safety coded, is the aspirin cardiologists use most themselves.
Ecotrin, the #1 choice of cardiologists. For their patients, for themselves.
Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. You massaging? Oh, yeah. Ooh. Ah.
Ooh. Ah. Ooh.
Ah.
New Dr. Scholl's Massaging Touch insoles with tiny foam bubbles that massage your feet with every step. Blissful comfort guaranteed.
Ooh, ah.
Massaging?
No, I'm just going, ooh, ah, like you guys.
What? To start massaging, see the doctor, Dr. Scholl's.
Higher interest rates may be on the way. Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan signaled today that the Fed is prepared to get more aggressive about raising rates. Read that, bigger increases more often, whatever it takes, Greenspan said, to keep inflation in check. Whether that happens before or after the election remains to be seen. On Wall Street today, stocks closed higher. The Dow gained 41 points. There's a movement to honor President Reagan by putting his picture on America's money. Some of his supporters want it on the $10 bill, others the 20, or even the dime. Tonight, CBS looks at the impact President Reagan had on America's money, as Anthony Mason reports on the Reagan economic legacy.
In 1980, Ronald Reagan ran for president, promising to radically rethink economic policy. But even in his own party, there were doubts about the Reagan plan.
What I call a voodoo economic policy.
The U.S. economy was in recession. Unemployment would hit 10%. Inflation was at 15%.
It's time to try something different.
That something came to be called Reaganomics. John Rutledge helped shape it.
The president said, look, guys, I don't like taxes, I don't like inflation, and I really don't like the Russians. Work something up.
In his first year in office, Reagan signed what he called the largest tax cut in history.
This represents $750 billion in tax cuts over the next 5 years.
But as the president was slashing taxes, he was pumping up defense spending by $100 billion to rattle the Soviets. Within years, the deficit nearly tripled.
He, in fact, tried to recoup it over the succeeding years with a series of tax increases, which were necessary to bring the budget at least back into a decent position.
But even his former budget director later admitted
that leaves behind a profound fiscal policy failure and imbalance.
I think the budget deficits and the trade deficits that came along with them were seriously debilitating the economy for 10 to 15 years.
Still, by the time Reagan left office, the economy was growing strongly.
8 years later, we had gone from 15% inflation to as low as 1% in 1986.
And as inflation went down, the stock market went up. The Dow was below 1,000 when Reagan took office. 8 years later, it was well over 2,000, up 135%. Economists left, right, and center may long argue over the effects of Reaganomics, but there's no denying the impact of the Reagan Revolution.
Thank you, and good night.
Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
Straight ahead on the CBS Evening News, Eye on America. If you've ever had a toddler, you know all about temper tantrums. He says he can stop them. He'll tell you how next.
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by Aflac. Ask about it at work.
You know, some people don't think what we do is a sport. That's because you can't get hurt doing it. Otherwise, you have that insurance. What insurance? What? Come again? The one that pays you cash. If you're hurt and can't work. Which one?
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Oh, hey, hi, I'm Digger. Don't mind me, I'm just a dermatophyte. You know, a nail infection. All I want is to get in here and live under your nail. You can't get me with clippers or those surface treatments you try on your own. I'm in too deep in your nail bed. I'll make myself comfortable, invite a few friends. Settle in.
Do you have thick, discolored, or flaky nails? Millions of people do. It may be caused by an active live infection. That's why you should ask your doctor about prescription-only Lamisil. Unlike surface treatments, Lamisil is a pill that works through the bloodstream to target and attack the infection at its source, underneath the nail. In fact, you can start to see clearer, healthier nails in just 3 months. Lamisil isn't for people with liver or kidney problems. In rare cases, serious side effects in the liver or serious skin reactions have occurred, so your doctor may do a simple blood test. Other side effects, including headache, diarrhea, indigestion, and rash, were generally mild. Ask your doctor about Lamisil. Once daily Lamisil tablets. Get your nail infection where it grows.
My guys go all day long. Ow! So their cuts get protection that keeps on working.
Neosporin is 8 times more effective than even the leading prescription at keeping skin bacteria free. That's Neosporin. Every cut, every time.
Today we're so busy, even our stomachs multitask.
Introducing Rolate's Multi-Symptom. It relieves heartburn, acid indigestion, and unlike Tums, gas.
Yeah, multitasking, multi-symptom. New Rolaids Multi-Symptom. Fast relief for the way we live.
Your UBS financial advisor can work with nearly 66,000 people in 50 countries. He can work with all the resources of one of the world's largest wealth management firms. But to understand what you need, he will always work right next to you. Could this be the most powerful two-person financial firm in the world? You and us, UBS.
Coming up in just minutes on News Channel 5 at 6, it's not your father's fanfare. The CMA Festival has a lot of new plans in store for this weekend, and the stars are on tap. Find out at 6.
Finally tonight, every parent knows how frustrating it can be to try to stop a toddler throwing a tantrum. Hang on. CBS's Richard Schlesinger reports there is an interesting new approach. It's all the rage in tonight's Eye on America.
Kira Martin may be evolving into a fully developed human being, but there are days when she and her brother Johnny don't act like it. For generations, doctors from Spock to Phil have been giving parents advice on how to deal with these moments.
Johnny. Big, where's your tongue?
Now there's new advice from a new doctor with a new book and a new way of looking at kids.
Toddlers are a lot like Neanderthals.
Neanderthals?
Yeah.
That's right, Neanderthals, little cavemen with primitive vocabularies and primal emotions.
They have a very simple sense of communication. When they want something, they'll grab it. If they're mad at you, they'll scratch.
So Dr. Karp has taught parents how to talk to their kids.
You want it now. You say, gimme.
Karp has this advice. Remember who you're talking to. Keep it short, repeat yourself a lot, and if you can, try to match their emotion.
It's only when you break it down into short phrases and go, no, you don't like it, you don't like it, you don't like it, and you get close to their level of feeling, that they look at you and they go, you get it.
No, I don't want to put my pajamas on, Daddy.
And the Martins say it works.
Honey.
When a pediatrician tells you to think of your child as a Neanderthal.
Oh, that didn't take any getting used to.
But the technique may take a little getting used to.
No!
Parents may be afraid of looking foolish, but only when they first hear Karp's idea.
If you could do this technique and end the temper tantrum in 40 seconds instead of 5 minutes.
Oh, we'll take it.
Dr. Karp says do this right, and you could see a 50 to 90% decrease in temper tantrums.
I think it works, and so it's not hard to employ, as long as you don't mind feeling stupid or looking stupid.
It's worth a little embarrassment for the Martins, who are willing to keep talking to their kids like cavemen.
You want that?
Until the prehistoric-style tantrums are history. In Venice, California, I'm Richard Schlesinger for Eye on America.
And that's part of our world tonight. I'll see you tomorrow morning with CBS News live coverage of the farewell to President Reagan as his casket is moved from California to Washington and later the procession to the U.S. Capitol. Till then, Dan Rather reporting for the CBS Evening News. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Partially sponsored by Walmart. Good jobs. Good people. Great opportunities. Come grow with us at Walmart.
This is CBS.
Straight ahead on News Channel 5 at 6, the CMA Music Festival is getting ready to kick off. What you need to know to get around downtown Nashville is straight ahead.
And it was once on the chopping block, but now a Metro community service program has been saved. Has the problem been solved, or is it just a temporary fix?
We had a couple of storms in the area today. Will we see some more strong storms tomorrow? I've got the forecast. News Channel 5 at 6 starts right now.
From your news and information leader. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ben Hall. Chris Clark has the night off. Well, it's a big week for music fans in Middle Tennessee.
The CMA Music Festival will bring tens of thousands of country music lovers to Nashville, and that could mean traffic problems for workers in downtown Nashville. Roads will start closing tomorrow morning. One lane of traffic on 1st from Broadway to Church will be closed Wednesday from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Only northbound traffic will get by. Then Thursday morning at 7, that section will close entirely through Monday morning. And Broadway from 1st to 2nd will close at 5 p.m. Wednesday and stay closed until 5 Monday morning. Concert goers can expect some big